In society today, we are being attacked constantly with inauthentic conversations. Fakeness, trying to look cool, trying to be somebody we're not. That is why the Damn Dude podcast is here to have the authentic conversations that need to be had in a way that will make you think and say, Damn Dude.
What up, everybody? What is good? Welcome to the Damn Dude podcast.
Damn Dude.
Damn, dude.
This is a show where we have the conversations that need to be had in a way that'll make you think and say, damn, dude.
Damn Dude.
This show exists to help educate, entertain, and make an impact on the different contexts and perspectives that we have in life, because I truly believe that the more access we have to different contexts and perspectives, the easier, smoother, and just flat out life, and just easier, smoother, and just flat out doper life is. You dig? So even though we might fumble on the intro, it's okay because authenticity is the name of the game. And that's actually part of why I do the intro brand new every single episode. I could put a pre-recorded intro for you guys to listen to, like you hear the music at the beginning. And I decided, you know what? It's more real to just say it every single time. So this show is about authenticity ultimately in whatever version, shape, and form that looks like. If you ever hear a guest on this show, it is purely to highlight that individual's abilities, talents, skills, worth, and magic. That's something that I like to create and capture for the people who come on the show. And for the ones who listen, I really, really want everybody to be able to live their best life in the freest, happiest, most purposeful and authentic way possible. So that's why the show exists. And I'm your host, California Cal. This is season 3, episode 73, which makes 276 episodes in the books.
Damn, dude.
Which is crazy because, oh, you know what? I realized that so many people, I wanted to talk about this anyways. I just didn't have it in my notes at this point. I realized, and also, shout out to my cousin Madeline. She was saying, I don't know if she's gonna or not, but she was talking about starting a podcast and was just asking me like, hey, you know, like, I know you got your own, where do I start, you know? So I was lacing her up. I'm like, all right, this is what you need, da-da-da-da-da. And before you even start the podcast, before you go looking into equipment, before you go looking into what software, all that shit, also, my boy Broughton, I hope, motherfucker, bro, Broughton, if you listen to this, damn it, boy, I'm on your ass, bro, because you need to start your podcast. The people need it. You are too much of a leader. You are too great of an individual. You need to start this shit, bro. Otherwise, you and I are going to have a problem. And if you and I got a problem, that means that either I need to come see you and you need to come see me so we can handle it, which actually means we just need to hang out, motherfucker. So, yeah. So, no, anyways, my point was that when I see people fired up and inspired to start a version of their own thing based off of what I've been doing, that makes me feel good because I really want to help empower people to empower themselves to help empower others. And shout out to my motherfucking bro, Sebastian. Go take a listen to his podcast, I should say. Ignite the Spark Within. It is good. His last few episodes on plant medicine, off the charts. So anyways, the reason I say that is because when I see these types of people starting their own podcast, getting in that zone, that mode, it makes me feel good that, like, damn, I'm so happy I stuck with this for as long as I have up to this point. Because on the 25th is technically our 3-year anniversary of the show. And that'll be, I didn't do the math on it, but it'll be like, we're roughly 280 episodes will be close to when that time comes. And I gotta say, I'm proud of myself because season 4 is around the corner, which is going to be hard to get used to saying. I got very used to saying season 3 at this point. And it makes me reflect. And I'm like, fuck, dude. Okay, there's many things I can reflect on. And when I look at, let's just say the podcast alone, what it took for me to create this podcast through being fucking homeless, through having a spot, through this, that, the whole thing, right? You guys have been here for it. And when we can empower others just based off of what we're doing, I have no special speaking skills. I have no special equipment, recording, radio host skills. I don't have anything like that. I have no journalism background. I have no news background, nothing, right? I'm just making this up and I'm kind of just going along the process. And along this process, especially back when pandemic time hit, like 2020, every motherfucker was starting a podcast. Oh, my wife, my girlfriend, my boyfriend, my husband, whatever. Everybody's starting a podcast, right? And it was a joke. And it still kind of is. It's like, yo, why does every dude just start a podcast instead of go to therapy? Well, motherfucker, I've done both. So, and at this point, the podcast is definitely healthier for me because I get to help a lot of other people. And that's a whole nother thing. In the therapy sessions that I'd ever went to, a lot of the times I had my emotional shit healed more than the therapist did. So it was like, we're meeting at this place where they're kind of like, no, like, there's no way you actually have peace around that. And I'm like, motherfucker, did I not, like, you hear me, right? You feel me, right? Like, I really have done the work. And thanks to plant medicines and my teachers in the jungles and things like that, I've been able to heal these things at a much more rapid pace than traditional therapy. And with plant medicines and learning from the shamans and different teachers, a lot of people who are religious tend to think that this is against religion or against their faith or something. And that always trips me out because it's actually further deepening your connection with your faith and your religion and your spirituality. The thing is, what I've really learned is that a lot of people are afraid of spirituality in action. A lot of people understand spirituality as a theory, as this like pie in the sky idea, meaning like it's way the fuck up there, like, huh? Like, well, what's that doing up there, right? Like, nah, that doesn't even add up. So the way I see this is, thanks to plant medicines, it's been giving me, and the teachings and the structure behind it, because otherwise, if you're not using these things as specific tools and respecting it for the medicine it is, with the sacredness that it is, then you're doing drugs. And it's very easy to go do drugs versus consuming medicine. Big fucking difference. And people don't know, and that's okay because people are ignorant. That's not bad. Ignorant just means you don't know. So that's why it's like I share these things because, look, dude, we can accomplish a lot with the right modalities and the right tools. So that's a whole nother thing too. But anyways, kind of let's reel this back in a little bit. So how all that relates to starting a podcast and why I'm shouting these people out is, for one, my boy Sebastian, Ignite the Spark Within, Sebastian Hernandez. Everybody go follow him. Go check out his podcast. He started his podcast based off of being on my podcast. And to me, that's the coolest thing because it's like, yo, bro, here's these skills. Here's how to do it. I'm not anybody special. I've just done it. And the proof is in the work. And boom, starts his shit, runs with it. He's got the craziest interviews, the deepest, the realest. It's so good. It's so good. And majority of the world is just not ready to receive it because it's smarter and deeper than the majority of people are than the level that the majority of people are operating at, and or where their consciousness is at, or just their openness, really. So with that being said, again, reeling this back in, I promise this all has to do with each other, is starting a podcast. And this could be anything, but when you start a podcast, so many people started podcasts in 2020. Where did all these people go? Because my friends, their wives, their girlfriends, their boyfriends, their husbands, their cousins, their whoever, they were all starting a podcast too. Almost every time I would say, oh yeah, I got a podcast. Da, da, da. Oh yeah, my such and such does too. That's cool. You guys should team up, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, what are we going to talk about? Podcasts? Like, like, okay, well, fuck. Is that person's podcast still going to be a podcast next year? Or is it just going to be a title they created, an idea they created, and then fucking stopped because there was no credit, no fame, no long-term goal or legacy plan attached to the creation of that outcome?
Damn, dude.
So, an example, and I've explained this before, but the threshold is, and this is, statistics are never perfect, but this is, let me make sure I write this ratio correctly, because sometimes I do the math wrong and I'm over an extra 10%. So, the statistics are something like, hold on a second, it's 51, 3, 1 second, guys, sorry, I'm trying to do this math. And then the next one is going to be 13, and then 30, it's like 35. Okay, let's just say 35. Okay, so roughly 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Hold on, 50, 60, 70, 80. I'm off a ratio. Where is it? Fuck, okay. Well, okay. Or this is basically how it goes, is that roughly 50% of all podcasts that start will not make it past episode 1.
Damn, dude.
Let me say that again. At least 50% of the podcasts in existence, and that will be created, at least half will not make more than 1 episode, if they even make that 1 episode. This is true. Go back and do the research. The next threshold is that, that's why the ratio is off. Okay. The next thing is that roughly about the next 30% of people and podcasts will only get, the next 20% will only get to episode 3. So 50% will only get to episode 1. About 20% out of 100 will only get to episode 3. Then roughly 10% of people, it's 2010. That's where I made the mistake. Okay. So the threshold is roughly about 10% of podcasts will make it to episode 7. The next threshold is about 10% of podcasts make it to episode 13. The next threshold is 10% of podcasts will make it to episode like mid 30. It's like, I forget if it's between 33 and 37%. So let's just say, episodes. So let's just say 35 episodes. 10% of all podcasts to ever exist will only get to 30-ish episodes. So at the same time, so that equals 100, right? We got 50, 20, 10, 10, 10. 50, 70, 80, 90, 100. Yep. So being that only 10 will go, but here's the other thing is, if you make it to the mid 30s of episodes being published, then you are in the top 10%, because automatically, just by time and continuously producing episodes, it will automatically shoot you into the top 10% just because the episode was made.
Damn, dude.
So think about that. This show right now, the Damn Dude Podcast, is a top 10% of all podcasts in the world. Not necessarily because it's good, Not necessarily because it's great, not necessarily because it sucks, not necessarily because of anything in between. Purely because I keep doing it. And by default, if you keep doing it, that automatically places you into the top percentile of people, shows, whatever, doing it. So if it's like, so how all of this ties back in again is once we understand why we want to do something and we are dedicated and determined, and it's like, yo, even if people don't understand, even if people don't get it, even if no one gives me credit, even if I get no acknowledgement, if I get nothing out of this, can I still do it, and will I still do it? So the way I see this is that once we can commit to being gritty and going the distance, like truly, once we don't care that nobody cares, our minds and our lives become free in many ways. Because it's like, dude, I don't care that nobody else cares. I care. So I'm going to keep doing it. Granted, it's like, yo, if this show can make it as a top 10% of all podcasts in the world with no promotion, no like celebrity backing, no like promotion, by default, this jumped in the top 10%. So what can we actually do if we were to be able to essentially accept deeper levels of truth about ourselves and our life in order to create a deeper understanding of what we want to create idea-wise now and into the future? So a lot of us are afraid that we get afraid when nobody else cares about our shit. When nobody else cares about our work, we start discounting or discrediting all of our stuff. And that's not the right way to do things, right? It's like if we want to move powerfully, then we got to create shit and move forward, because there's going to be a lot of lack of credit for a lot of the shit you do until it comes full circle and people actually start understanding it. So I look at when I see my friends wanting to start a podcast, create music, create art, create their own business, whatever, right? Like the way I see it is like, whether you're a fucking motorcycle racer or a fucking painter or a rapper or a singer or a podcaster or a whatever the fuck your craft is, right? Like whatever it is that you put time, care, energy, and creativity into, and depth into, dude, own that shit, promote that shit, like do that, because that's what's gonna allow us to do it long term, is to just like accept that there may not be any credit or acknowledgement, and to maintain and hone in on the purpose and the point of the whole fucking thing. So as I'm looking at this, as I'm looking at myself podcasting, as I'm looking at different friends and family getting curious about their own podcasts, as I see friends and family considering starting their own podcasts, like I'm giving them the first piece of advice that I have for anybody who says, bro, like, what do I, like, all right, I want to start a podcast. Like, where do I start? And usually, and this is what I did too. I was like, all right, what equipment do I need? And if you're thinking of starting a podcast, asking what equipment you need, that's not the right answer to start asking. Because that's the same question that the majority of these fucking like 3 or 4 million people who started podcasts, and there's only 10% of them that are like still moving after all this time and still alive and even producing anything, are the ones who didn't worry about the equipment and the means first, more so. And I'm just going to give this to you guys because it's just free game. Well, it's actually crazy because I could actually charge for this, but it's just whatever. Another time, another place. If you're going to start a podcast, the very, very, very first thing you need to know is how the fuck you're going to keep doing this. What is your long-term goal, and what is your minimum time dedication to you doing this?
Damn, dude.
Because if you don't know the minimum amount of time that you're willing to dedicate to this, then you're going to quit after episode 1, like 50% of all fucking podcasts that start. So, how do you create? It's easy to create the podcast. How do you actually keep going with the podcast? That's the real shit we're supposed to be thinking about when we start anything. Okay, how do I do this long term, and if nobody fucking cares? How do I do this if nobody cares? Or seemingly nobody cares? Or people really care and they don't say anything? That's the most frustrating part, is like when people are like, oh shit, wow, you know, they're listening to your shit, they're taking it all in, but they never say anything. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, aren't you listening? Like, but then it's like, I think about how I listen to shit, and a lot of times I just fucking listen and then I'm on to the next thing, and I take the lessons and I keep it pushing. And that's something like when you got people like Andy Frisella, Ed Milet, David Meltzer, Gary Vee, like people on that level, Bradley, like they're giving the game out because it's like they just want motherfuckers to win also, right? Like there's a certain level of, all right, fuck it, I'm just gonna give this game and it doesn't matter if I get any credit for it because I'm doing my thing anyways. Like credit is just, I don't know, it really just feeds the ego and just kind of, it doesn't really do anything. So that's why it's up to us to give ourselves credit. And for me, even it's like, if I drop what I feel like is a sucky episode, or it didn't hit, or anything like that, I'm just like, fuck it, I just own it and I put it out and keep going. Like, judge it, so what? Like, if you want to talk about it, we could talk about it. So it's interesting, like how many people will judge themselves before they even allow others to judge their shit. And that's one thing for myself, is like I had to stop judging my own shit and just putting it out there, because that's what's real. And even if I'm saying some nonsense, or I don't like what I said, or I could have said it 100 times better, or whatever the case, fuck it. That's what was real. That's what came out. If I was full of shit, so be it. Let's look at it. Right? And I think that's the thing, is like a lot of people are scared to look at the depths or the ugly side or the unfamiliar side of themselves, because on the other side of who people know themselves to be is a powerful motherfucker. At the same time, the other side is a timid little fucking 6-year-old child who was hurt and lost and not acknowledged and not loved. So it's like, because those two things are on the other side, our power, our inner child, our imagination, our creativity, as well as all of our insecurities, they all live on the other side. So it's the thing, is like, dude, lean into them. And I'm grateful that Yamamoto the other day, he had reminded me, like, dude, everything about you, lean into it, own, accept, and just put it out there. That's what the fuck, you know? It's like, that's the realest shit, is just you own all of it. All of it. And I'm like, fuck, dude, like, you're right. Fuck, you know? And it's like, there's elements of my stuff, rather than owning it, I would try and change it or deny it or dance around it or whatever. And it's like, no, I'm going to own all my shortcomings, all my success, all my power, all of that. And I realize it's like in times where I was on the other side, so to say, where it's like I'm stepping into my power, I would step into my power and then step into my timidness. And I'm like, I don't get it. Like, why the fuck? Every time I step into this power, I get fucking sent down the slide of like worrying and this and that and whatever. I'm like, now that I step back, I let life kind of unfold a little, and it's like, oh, boom, got it. It's because the shit just has to unfold and make sense long enough, right? And it's like, when I can honor my commitment and my reason as to why to lean into my strength, I have to understand, and we should understand, that most of the time when we choose to lean into our strengths and power, the scary thing, the timidness, the not good enough, all of that shit is on the other side also. But here's the thing is that is the access to our fucking power. And how many of us just get scared of it and shy away, and it's like, oh, whoa, that was too much. It's like, man, you could be the next whatever or not. You could be the next this or not. You could be the next this or not. Right? Like, what do you want to be? Are you cool enough to be you and claim it and own it? And that's one thing is like, I realize with the men and women that I fuck with, like purposely, outwardly, like it's very much my decision to fucking spend time with these people. They all have this understanding of worth, of self-worth, who they are, what their powers are. They're confident and not cocky or egotistical people. And that's the people that I'm purely trying to fuck with. Like all the shit of like people who just judge this and that. And it's like one thing I cannot fucking handle is when people go on talking about celebrities like that's who the fuck they are. And I'm like, dude, why would you even pretend to think you know this person you've never fucking met, you've never spent time with? It's like, it drives me crazy. Oh, such and such, he's a fucking asshole. Like, how do you know that? Oh, because one time I heard a reporter got, they ignored him and it's like, or he's an asshole because blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh, you're viewing somebody's one interaction. You don't know the context. You don't know the circumstance. You don't know where this person came from. You don't know what was said quietly. You don't know the energy that was there. You don't know any of that shit. So it's like, how can you judge so exact and all knowingly? How can you judge people in life when you don't fucking know? And that drives me crazy because people who do that have no fucking clue who their own self is. Because if people knew who their own self was, they wouldn't have to speak on others and create shortcomings and all this other weird shit for other people for them to justify why they're the better person. It's like, motherfucker, if you know of somebody that you're able to hate on, they already won. Like the person you're hating on won. And I don't get or understand why the majority of people in the world are like that or just don't get that. Like, dude, it's not that fucking hard. I mean, I guess it is. Whatever, right? I don't know. That's me judging, right? We're all on our own path in our own time. And something that I realize is just so important, and what rounds all this out, this whole conversation, is this all boils down to being able to accept ourselves, to be able to accept deeper levels of ourself, deeper levels of truth about ourselves, right? And it's like, the more we can accept different truths about ourselves, the more we're free, the happier we are. The smoother life flows, the less we have to judge, and the less we have to judge, the more we get to fucking connect, right? And it's like, I so much prefer connecting with people than having to fucking argue with people. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm like, dude, like for example, when I first saw Yamamoto's work, I'm like, oh, okay, I can see where I can crack a joke and this and that, but I'm like, well, hold on a minute, that's just the same ignorant shit whoever else is doing. I'm like, why don't I actually look and listen and see why this does something to me, you know? And I'm like, oh shit, this is good. I resonated with it hella deeply. That's actually what was speaking to me through this, not what I thought. It's like, nah. And it's like, because I grew up in like an Asian town and da-da-da, it's like, for me, it's just very normal to crack Asian jokes on people and shit. And it's like, and I see him and I'm like, whoa, he's serious about what he's doing. The same way I'm serious about what I'm doing. It's like, yeah, go ahead, crack your jokes. It's all good, whatever. But dude, I'm serious about this shit. And when you meet a motherfucker who's serious about their shit, any joke is taken as disrespect, because it's like, no, I'm serious. And it's like, when people crack jokes on me about having a podcast. Oh, everybody's got a podcast. Why do men start podcasts? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, I can take the joke, trust me. At the same time, that's some hater shit. And at the same time, that's also people trying to be a fan and they don't get it. The people who I get who talk shit on my podcasts or just don't say anything about it or they act like they have no opinion or what. It's like, all right, like, so you just don't care at all. Fine. That's cool. But like, fuck, you know, it's interesting because when people crack jokes, it's like they want to be fans, but they don't know how.
Damn, dude.
And I realized that that's really what all of this is all about. Anytime people are on some hater shit or on some weird shit or on some like low key making little slides, little jokes, little this, that, like all that shit's a version of hating and not supporting and being insecure with yourself. So if you're scrolling through the internet and you see some shit that makes you feel some type of way, what are you going to do? How are you going to act? Is it that triggering to you? Does it trigger and tickle your insecurities that much that you have to go and say some mean shit or try and be funny or this and that when, motherfucker, you ain't even funny? Like, why are you on here trying to be funny just because you think that's going to give you a pass? No. Right? So this is the power of knowing where we stand, knowing what we stand for, and understanding that when it's like, yo, nobody really fucking cares. I'm the only one who needs to care, because when I care, then everybody else will care once they understand what it is and it becomes digestible. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, I just want to say, I hope everybody gets out and exercises on a regular basis, drink some water, eat some beef, grass-fed beef to be exact. That's grass-fed cow and beef is some of the healthiest food on the motherfucking planet, and some people seem to think it's not still. And that is old school information that is inaccurate and incorrect, and yeah. Anyways, so be sure you guys exercise, eat good, all that stuff. And one thing that I realized is that when I go exercise, I run, I jog, I hike, I whatever the fuck, all the insights come. And that's the best time to have insights and growth and anything of that nature, is to be able to exercise, let the fucking creative juices start flowing, and then all of a sudden start sharing those ideas, right? And commit to doing it long term. So if you're going to start a show, a music, an art, a whatever, figure out why you want to do it long term, figure out how you're going to do it long term, figure out what your theme is, figure out the length of how long you're doing it, determine if it's long or short form, right? Like that's the secrets for if you're going to start podcasting. And I realized I kind of skipped over that a little bit, but like I said, what I could charge for that is game that people do charge for is, if you're going to start a podcast, if you're going to start music, create a minimum amount of time that you will dedicate to it. Otherwise, you'll forever be floundering. Minimum time. For me, this podcast is a minimum of 10 years. At 10 years, I will allow myself to reevaluate if I want to keep doing this or not. Because if I do that, it allows me to become a master of this. And once I become a master, then I could decide. And my whole thing is, yo, anything you try, master the basics, so that way you could tell whether you like it or not. And for me, the basics of this, I have no fucking clue what it is, because podcasting hasn't really been established yet. It's still twisting and turning and taking all new shapes and forms and getting pushed and pulled and the whole thing. So a podcast, there's no standard basics yet, other than I talk, I record, I share. But there's so much more to it. All right, well, how do you actually do that for a long fucking time? Because most of the time, people, once you've talked for several hours, you've already shared everything you could share about all your crazy stories. You've already shared everything you could, all the crazy scenarios that you can consciously remember, you've shared all of them. And then some random ones will come up after time. But here's the thing is, we need a minimum allotted time. That's how it's going to work. So if you're going to start a podcast, figure out the minimum amount of time, the amount of seasons, whatever. For me, I'm getting to season 10 and I will reevaluate. So I encourage you guys to do that. If you're going to start a show, figure out how long you'll do it for until you reevaluate. Figure out why you're doing it. For me, it's to create legacy for my family and future generations and my kids, so that way they can know where they come from. Next, aside from that, is to be able to help the people who listen to this show, help society, and just to share the life lessons, just give the game. After that, it's my own personal journal. I'm just documenting life. So all of those things are important enough for me to keep doing this. And now a deeper purpose is to show other people how to do this successfully. Because even though I don't feel successful in this, I am by default. It's like I'm not making money on this. I don't even run ads or charge anything. Which, by the way, you guys, I'm eligible to run and chart and monetize some elements of this show. And I won't do it, even though I fucking need all the money I could have right now. I won't do it because integrity to this show, right? And I'll let integrity slip a little here and there in terms of like the time it gets put out. Sometimes it'll be a day late, a day early, whatever. But in general, Mondays and Thursdays, roughly around noon, you're getting the fucking episode. And you know that you're getting an episode, even if it's a day late, a couple hours late, whatever. So it's a beautiful thing to be able to create. So figure out why, figure out how, figure out what your show's going to be about. The main 3 topics or categories you can categorize it under. Then figure out if you're going to do long or short form. Long form podcasts are 30 minutes plus. Short form podcasts are under 30 minutes, typically 10 to 15 minutes. So find your happy medium. For me, I chose long form because I like to talk a lot sometimes, especially when I'm by myself and I'm just flowing. Also, the way I saw it was, if I create an hour worth of content at a time, let's say there's 60 minutes in an hour, and if I use 1 minute clips from an hour long show, let's say there's at least, on a good show, it's like there's at least like 30 fucking good clips in a good show. Minute long clips in an hour show. So the way I saw it was like, dude, I can forever just keep cutting and clipping different pieces of my own episodes to use as promotional, basically forever, because it's going to be impossible for everybody to have heard all of this unless they've actually been listening through the whole time. So I'm like, dude, I have endless clips to be able to use for promotion and as clips and whatever, just over time. And it gives people a lot to choose from what I'm saying, different topics, different angles, different contexts, to be able to clip, share, take from, learn from, whatever it may be. Granted, I know that this also opens up a whole world of allowing people to take what I'm saying out of context. It's like you could take me saying like, oh yeah, beat this motherfucker up, da-da-da-da-da. But it's like, whoa, hold on. You needed to hear the whole rest of the story in order to get the context in which that was being said, right? And it's kind of like they did that to Andrew Tate. They would take a bunch of things he was saying, and then they would mash together him talking serious mixed in with him talking sarcastic, but he's acting serious. And they say, oh, he hates women. And it's like all blown up and exaggerated and crazy. And it's like, all right, fuck it. So be it, dude. Whatever. It's like I'm not out there in a way where I care if you cancel anyways, if you cancel me anyways, because I'm already fucking canceled due to how real and authentic and just gritty this show is. So fuck it. It's not whatever. This shit's gonna rise through the grit, right? Kind of like NWA. It's like, man, this isn't traditionally fucking blowing up in the way that shit's supposed to, but damn, the people fuck with it, and damn, the message is dope and deep. Fuck. We fuck with this. This is a part of history now. Right? So that's how this show's sliding in. So that's how you start a podcast. You guys. I need to go make some money. I have been hurting, and I gotta fucking somehow get a birthday party, get a fucking together for my son, get shit together for child support, get shit together for fucking my girl's birthday, the rest of the kids' birthday. It's just so my brother's birthday's coming. Bro, everything. Now, and I gotta line up some work for the summer. I have a lot. And that's good because I'm honing in on it. I applied for school, you guys. I'm just kind of going off the cusp with this whole episode. These episodes don't seem to do good when I just go. But for some reason, they usually get the least amount of views. But at the same time, for some reason, when I talk like this, and I just flow and let the ideas just kind of be wherever and everywhere, and I tie it all together, oftentimes these are the ones that hit super hard for a lesser amount of people. And I almost prefer that. It's like, if my shit's gonna hit super deep and hard for a small amount of people, and they really fuck with it, and they really get it, and that's really deep and impactful for them, I would rather have 5 people truly greatly empowered, life changed, inspired. I'd rather have that 5 than to have an entire fucking 40 people just kind of care.
Damn, dude.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, that. You guys, love you guys. For reals. Appreciate you guys. If you're curious about plant medicines and anything of that nature, what that means, where to start, holla at your boy. I can point you in the right direction. If you're in San Diego, we can get you taken care of. If you're willing to go to Peru or Colombia, we can get you taken care of. Otherwise, we've got the occasional places in Florida you can go. Or you can even hire myself or some other individuals who I trust and who know what they're doing to come and host ceremonies and things of that nature, just to be able to help heal. So, guys, love you guys, appreciate you guys. This is the Damn Dude Podcast, Season 3, Episode 73. Ooh, yuck. The bottom of my coffee was nasty. Yucky. It was cold and had coffee grounds in it. That shit was not good. I'm still grateful for it. Gonna be me and you.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. We will be coming up on Season 4 just around the corner. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And please be sure to tell a friend 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 to tell your best friends, cousins, uncles, pig farmer's cousin who happens to manufacture podcast headphones for podcast companies in China, but actually loves the work that they do. Tell that individual about the Damn Dude Podcast. Because you never know who the fuck needs this. We got listeners. Also, if Ron Gowan is listening to this, Ron, I love you, bro. You are dope. Thank you for the post the other day. That blew my mind and brought tears to my eyes. And it's crazy when people you look up to tell you that they look up to you in ways. That shit is always dope and always crazy. So shout out to all the listeners in Germany, especially anybody who came through Ron. Love to you guys. If you fuck with Ron, I fuck with you. Shout out to my girl, Meg, my Mingo. She's just fucking holds it down. Shout out to my mom. Just beyond anything I could fucking say thank you for. My dad, thank you. To the homies who I consider brothers and people turning into brothers and closer family. Shout out to you guys. Shout out Sebastian. Shout out Cassius. Shout out Ali. Shout out Yamamoto. all of you guys have been making a great impact in my life in this last little while. And I'm incredibly grateful for you all. To all my old friends, my new friends, my family, everybody, thank you guys. There's so many people I could say thank you to who I'm so grateful to have in my life. Those happen to be just the people who are most currently active in being engaged in what I'm up to. Shout out to Broughton. I fucking love you, bro. You're my brother. I hope to have him on the pod soon. I got to get Cashy back on again. I'm just thinking out loud at this point. Anyways, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Have a beautiful motherfucking day. This is season 3, episode 73, and this is the Damn Dude Podcast.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.